Veteran Ghanaian coach Dede Jordan says it will be impossible for the Black Stars to win the next AFCON, which will be hosted in Ivory Coast, and says that it will even take a miracle for the Black Stars to make it out of the group stages at the next AFCON. We'll get to hear from him in a short while, but before that, former Kotoko and House of Folk player Charles Taylor believes Dede and Wakaso must return to the Black Star squad for the 2023 AFCON. Do you agree with him? Well, we get to hear from Charles Taylor in a bit. And also coming up, Ali Jara, Ghana's former goalkeeper, says Richard Ofori should be made the Black Stars #1 goalkeeper. We'll get to hear from him as well. But there's some bad news from the camp of the Black Stars as defender Joseph Eidu has been ruled out of the 2023 AFCON due to an injury he got in Ghana's game against Mexico. I have details of this and more here on Sports Update Ghana. My name is Joseph Adamafi, and before we get into the details, please subscribe to the channel, like, share, and don't forget to leave a comment. So let's get into the stories now, starting off with veteran Ghanaian coach Dede Jordan. He says the Black Stars would not be able to win the 2023 African Cup of Nations title, which will be hosted in Ivory Coast. According to him, it will be impossible for the Black Stars to win the AFCON with this kind of performance they've exhibited in recent games. The Black Stars suffered a loss to Mexico by 2-0 before losing by 4-0 at the hands of USA. And according to Dede Jordan, with the current state of the Black Stars, well, they shouldn't even think of qualifying out of the group stages at the AFCON because it will take a miracle for Ghana to make it out of the group stages looking at our recent performances. It says that most Ghanaians are only worried about Egypt and have forgotten about the threat that Mozambique and Cape Verde pose to Ghana, knowing for the fact that Ghana lost to Comoros at the previous AFCON. Speaking in an interview with Sompa FM, this was what Dede Jordan had to say about Ghana's chances of winning the next AFCON. Dede Jordan is quoted to have said that at the moment, it is impossible for Ghana to win the 2023 AFCON, which is a fact. It will even take a miracle for Ghana to qualify for the next round of the tournament. In our group, everyone is talking about Egypt because they are the most successful team in the AFCON, but they seem to be struggling recently, and I think the focus should be on Cape Verde and Mozambique. He went on to say that in our case, we have lost to Comoros and have been struggling to win games, so it will be difficult for Ghana to win the AFCON tournament in Ivory Coast. I will implore Ghanaians to lower their expectations because it will take a miracle for us to qualify for the next round of the tournament. We are not the favorites to win the tournament, Dede Jordan told Sompa FM in an interview. So he is clearly saying that, well, the Black Stars will need a miracle to even make it out of the group stages than to even think about winning the AFCON. According to him, the next AFCON, it doesn't look like Ghana seems to be favorites of winning the title. Do you agree with him? Well, we get to see how that one goes when the AFCON starts. But let's go to Charles Taylor because according to him, he wants Dede and Wakaso to return to the Black Stars. For Charles Taylor, who played for Ghana at one point in time in his career, he believes that the Black Stars are missing the services of Captain Andre Ayew and Wakaso. For Charles Taylor, he says even if Dede does not have a club and is clubless, well, he should still be maintained in the Black Stars because he brings into the Black Stars leadership and experience. And for a player like Mubarak Wakaso, his experience and tackles is needed in the Black Stars. Well, after Ghana's defeat to Mexico and USA, this was what Charles Taylor had to say in his interview with Angel TV. The former Hearts of Oak and Kotoko player said Andre Ayew should always be part of the Black Stars, whether he has a club or not. We need Wakaso back in the team urgently, and that is what Charles Taylor said in his interview with Angel TV, suggesting that these two players are very key to Ghana's success at the next AFCON and believes that they should return to the Black Stars if we indeed want to make a mark at the 2023 AFCON, which will start in the year 2024, January, February. Well, now moving on, former Ghanaian goalkeeper Ali Jara has scored for goalkeeper Richard Ofori to be made the #1 shotstopper of the Black Stars. Well, in recent times, Ghana has been having goalkeeping issues with the likes of Lawrence Atizigi and Manaf Nuruddin failing to save Ghana in international friendly matches in October. Lawrence Atizigi conceded 2 goals against Mexico, and in the game against USA, Manaf Nuruddin was made to be imposed for that game after many criticisms on Lawrence Atizigi. However, Manaf Nuruddin was unable to deal with the pressure and ended up conceding 4 goals. After carefully examining the performance of our 2 goalkeepers, Ali Jara believes that Richard Ofori deserves to return to the #1 position as the Black Stars goalkeeper. He said in an interview that Richard Ofori was Ghana's top choice before his unfortunate injury, but if he is back in the team and fit, he is unquestionably merits the role of the team's #1 goalkeeper ahead of Azigi, and that is what former Ghanaian goalkeeper Ali Jara says. Do you agree with him? Should Richard Ofori be made #1 ahead of Lawrence Atizigi and Manaf Nuruddin? I think that it's yes for me, because looking at his performance in the South African League, I think he merits the #1 role in the Black Stars in the absence of Jojo Wollacott. So Jojo Wollacott for me is our #1. If he's not there, Richard Ofori should be #2 before Manaf and Lawrence Atizigi count. Richard Ofori used to be the #1 shotstopper for the Black Stars until he got injured during the 2022 World Cup qualifiers in our first leg against South Africa. Well, away from that, let's talk about the serious case of Joseph Edu. Well, the defender has been ruled out of the 2023 AFCON tournament. Joseph Edu got injured in Ghana's game against Mexico after playing 26 minutes of action. Joseph Edu got a knock from a Mexican player which ruled him out of the game, and after careful examination from Ghana's medical doctors, he was made to return to his club team, that is Spain, and even missed Ghana's game against USA. After returning to his club team Celta Vigo in Spain, his team managed to conduct a well-taken examination of his injury, and after careful examination, it appears that Joseph Edu will be out of action for 6 to 7 months, meaning that he will not be able to play in Ghana's 2023 AFCON tournament, which will be played in January, February of 2024. So if we are in October, November, December, January, February, that will be 4 months. It is impossible for him to return to action in time to play for the Black Stars at the AFCON. In a statement from Celta Vigo, the club said the head of RC Celta Medical Services, Joan Jose Garcia Cota, operated this morning on the centre-back Joseph Edu, who suffered a ruptured Achilles tendon in a match played with his national team last Saturday. The intervention, which passed without complications and took place early in the morning at the Fremap Hospital in Vigo, consisted of the reconstruction of the tendon with reinforced structure and the application of growth factors. The light blue defender will remain out of a minimum 6 or 7 months. The club reiterates its message of encouragement and support for Edu, whom it wishes a full recovery. And that is what Celta Vigo said in their statement on Joseph Edu and the fact that he won't be in action for the next 6 to 7 months. I hope the Ghana Football Association and the Black Stars technical team for a fact will go and reassure Joseph Edu of his speedy recovery, because I keep repeating that we can't allow what happened in the past to Jerry Akaminkun to happen again after he got injured and everyone left him to his fate. I think that we have to ensure that Joseph Edu, who played for the Black Stars and got injured, does not go away and treat himself, but we contribute our quota and invest in his career as he is now injured. Well, that's your sports for today. I'll come your way with another update before the day ends. My name is Joseph Adamafiu. Thanks for doing the watching. Please subscribe, like, share, and don't forget to leave a comment. I'm out.